Being a black man in America post the Trayvon Martin case has proved to be educational and challenging and insightful. In recent years, we've had to have some serious conversations in this country about race. But 2017 proved that what makes black Americans so unique beyond our resiliency is the effect that we have on popular culture at large. So I've developed a list of what I think are the 6 biggest events in pop culture brought to you by the black community. You're welcome. Number 6, Beyoncé's twin announcement. Now, I'll put this right out there. I am not a fan of Beyoncé. I appreciate, especially these last 2 albums, what she's been able to do musically and artistically. And, you know, as a performer over her entire tenure over her entire tenure of performing, I have grown to really appreciate what she's been able to bring to the stage. But what I love the most is not only seeing the expression of black love shown between her and her husband, but the example of a well-to-do, involved, and engaged black family that is not a political family. You know, for years, we were spoiled with the Obamas, an example of what America of the past would have viewed as the perfect nuclear family. And in an age where we hear so much about broken black families and how fathers aren't taking care of their children and how there are so many black single-parent households with the mother raising the children, it was great, especially in 2008 to 2016, 17. It was great for the country and the communities to see a black family in the White House, no doubt, that truly cared for and loved one another. And after the Obamas left, many wondered if we would ever see that again in the public eye. And despite their marital spat, which was very public, no doubt, Beyoncé and Jay-Z have not only brought 3 beautiful young black babies into the world, but they've shared the love that they have for their children with not only their fans, but the greater world community. And that sharing of love in its truest form, the love of a parent towards a child and vice versa, is but a mere example of the type of love and positivity that will help heal some of these cultural wounds we're facing in America. Number 5, the community's clapback to Omarosa. So for over a decade, Omarosa Newman has made a living and a career off of the perception that she is a villain who operated by no logic other than her own and cared for no one and nothing but her own career. Now again, that is the perception that she gave off. Whether or not that's really who she is, I'm not to say. I'm gonna err on the side that she's probably in real life an opportunistic villain. IJS. Sorry, not sorry. From The Apprentice and her appearances on the All-Star Apprentice seasons to the surreal life and her appearances on talk shows like Wendy Williams and The View, she has been not only a controversial figure in the black community, but one who has been immediately dismissed by that same community. So when she was fired from her position at the White House, not only did it become a nationwide discussion because of what she decided to say after the fact, but so many black people around the country, almost in unison, followed Robin Roberts' lead.
She said she has a story to tell, and I'm sure she'll be selling that story.
We'll see.
Well, yeah, she will. Bye, Felicia.
Number 4, The Lion King returns. Now, as big of a Beauty and the Beast fan as I am, and trust me, I am a huge Beauty and the Beast fanatic, I wasn't too pleased with the remake that came out earlier this year. Now, don't get me wrong, there were some awesome things about seeing Beauty and the Beast in a live action form. But some of the things, like Emma Watson's attempt at singing, or the Beast's song, which wasn't the best song, actually, were the only minor points of contention that I had. But that can be a separate video. Actually, I think I might do a separate video on that. Either way, the announcement for the remake of The Lion King, one of, if not the most influential Disney movie of all time, made Black Twitter go crazy. Not only is Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino, aka the inspiration for Miles Morales, aka Young Black Excellence, playing the role of Simba, and Beyoncé, who over time has become a much better actress. Note the changes from Austin Powers Gold member to Cadillac Records. playing the role of Nala, but so many other great actors and actresses are lending their talents, their voices, and their motion capture artistry to the making of this Jungle Book-style Lion King. And yes, Disney is for everyone, and The Lion King is a tale that goes beyond race. But the feeling I get looking at that poster full of Black excellence in Hollywood is almost just as Black as the feeling I get looking at the plate of macaroni and cheese touching the candied yams on Thanksgiving. Number 3, Get Out. Words aren't enough to describe the cultural phenomenon that was Get Out. What many would classify as a dark comedy is the physical manifestation of a nightmare that I've actually had. No joke. I've had that nightmare. I'm serious. Filmmaker Jordan Peele was able to ride that line of humor and horror so well that he was able to have actual conversations in the movie and discuss significant cultural issues, mindsets, and microaggressions that many would not want to hear or see displayed in their entertainment. His brilliant artistry behind the camera, his smart writing, and the performances of those fine actors in the film made the movie not only enjoyable to watch as a moviegoer, but provocative enough to start a conversation, and a real conversation, while not being overly preachy about where one should stand on the sociological discussion. Number 2, 98% of Black women vote for Doug Jones. It was incredible to see the turnout on a non-election year, no doubt, for a special election in Alabama. But based off of what was happening during the race itself with the candidate Roy Moore and all of the things that he represented, it wasn't that hard to see why so many people turned out. But this was something that nobody could have ever guessed, nobody could have ever assumed, and nobody could have ever planned for. In an effort to curb the rising feelings of neglect from many people in the red states, it's easy to, in the political sphere at least, to forget the power of the voting bloc of African Americans. And after Barack Obama was elected into office, we saw through exit polling how high the turnout was for Black voters, especially for Black women. After that historic election in 2008 and the equally as historic election in 2012, where Barack Obama was elected and re-elected as the first president of color, or the first Black president, however you want to say it, many wondered, would turnout ever be that high in the African American community? Not alone just again, but on a non-election year for Congress and special elections, would turnout ever be that high again? And last week, Black women in Alabama proved that when inspired enough and galvanized, the voting bloc of Black Americans, and specifically in this case, Black women, could be one of the most powerful forces in an election, right? Granted, there were write-in candidates, there were people who did not go out to vote, people who sat home, but we can't deny that 98% of Black women voters in the state of Alabama went out to vote, period. Regardless of who they voted for, they went out to vote. Whether or not the Democrats decide to continue taking the Black vote for granted, that's going to be determined later. But Black women in Alabama, and I think even more representative of Black women across the country, made it clear that they are there, they are watching, they are listening, and they are active participants in the democracy in which they're partaking in. Do it for the culture. And number 1, the Black Panther trailer. Now, throughout the year, announcements of the cast of Black Panther, Disney's next Marvel film, made me extremely excited for the potential that this film has. But after watching the trailer, it all sunk in. Have you seen the trailer? Have you seen the trailer? I'll include a link to the trailer below because the trailer is awesome. Have you seen the trailer? If you haven't seen the trailer, you need to go watch it. The choice of actors in this cast are not only continued examples of Black excellence in Hollywood, the choice of music is grabbing and inspiring, and it fits so well with the themes that we're seeing from the film through just the trailer. The costuming, the effects, and everything else that we've seen has only heightened my level of anticipation and excitement for this film. Not to mention that the film comes out during the blackest month on the calendar, Black History Month. This film is slated to be one of the most influential films of this generation. Think about this. This is a full-on Disney movie with a majority, over 95% Black cast of a superhero film, something that has never been done on TV, with a young Black male director. This is one of the most pivotal moments for Black artistry in Hollywood, because the success of this movie sets a precedent for movies to look like this going forward. And not just with all black casts, but with casts that reflect the fabric of the nation that the movies come out of, right? To see this many qualified young black actors and actresses in a very commercial, worldwide, multi-million-dollar superhero film is a feat that no one else has ever accomplished. I'm pretty friggin' excited. Can you tell that I'm excited? I'm very excited. I can't wait! I can't wait! Ah! So do you agree with my list? Are there any cultural phenomena brought to us by the black community that I missed or forgot about? Go ahead and comment below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Did you enjoy the video? I hope you did. If so, go ahead and subscribe to Alex Chats. And don't forget to check out some other great content right here.